Well, we'll see.
Are we testing right now?
No.
Oh,
We're just going in
okay.
raw.
I know it looks... Well, now I'm nervous. Okay, hang on.
Okay.
Well, no. No, we're going to do it.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Why don't we? Okay.
Welcome to Recapping Romantasy. Hot takes on hot literature. Who are we?
We are me, Emma.
I am Maura.
And I am Tabitha. Recapping Romantasy contains mature content from fairy smut to dragon rider torture to monster genitalia. Be sure to check the episode notes for content warnings and the links to our socials. So this episode is our wrap up for 2025 with our favorite and least favorite reads.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get into that, is there any other book business from this year that we would like to discuss?
Opening
Book business.
the floor.
Yes. The only thing I have is that on Goodreads, the top voted romantasy book of 2025 was Onyx Storm, and the top debut novel was Alchemized.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Go ahead.
So yeah, Onyx Storm is not a shock to me.
No.
Even though I think it was not received well by a lot of people. Us three being only a small fraction.
Would have said it was the worst book of the year had I not read Blood of Hercules.
Right. Well, and I have another one that's even worse than Blood of Hercules that we're going to get into today. But I think still that series just has a chokehold on people.
It really does.
It does. I think it does. And I think it's a lot of like people who read people who read Throne of Glass and then ACOTAR and then had a moment where they're like, what do I read? While Sarah J. Maas like has feelings is like obviously Onyx Storm and its stuff. So I think they're just hopping from one popular series to the next, and this is the popular series at the moment.
Yeah, I do hate to give Rebecca Yarros any credit, but I think a lot of people who are not into fantasy in any way enjoy the Fourth Wing series because of how she wrote it. Like, it's very modern, the language she uses. There's not like any real world building.
Yeah, no, I think you're right.
The world building in it is familiar because I think the only fantasy that people know about prior to reading this is like Harry Potter.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And
I think, yes, a Harry Potter, ACOTAR.
Yep.
We got older, but now we want sex. And now we have
now you have
Fourth Wing. Yeah. But not like crazy sex, just like jackhammering a small, petite,
wet leather,
almost like childlike protagonist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who curses a lot and likes knives.
The most heterosexual of sex.
Yeah. Also, I think, what was it? Sarah J. Maas did not put out a book this year.
Yeah.
And that cost the publishing industry something like $4 million.
Damn.
Maybe more than that.
She's really like the Taylor Swift of publishing.
She is.
In kind of a derogatory way, I'm saying that, if you didn't pick up on that subtext.
Yeah. No other things that she does. She just writes terrible books.
What is she doing? Is she writing another ACOTAR book, or is she writing that Crescent City series?
She is writing the last ACOTAR book. Elaine's book.
Oh, right.
Which I believe she finished a draft of. But I don't think she has an edit clause in her contract, which means she doesn't get edited. So I don't know why they're taking so long.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know. It is crazy.
Maybe one day I'll go back to that series and try to finish it. I gave up in the middle of...
I read the first section of Nesta's book, which I'm not remembering the name of. Silver Flames, yes.
Yeah.
And I got about halfway through, and I was like, I don't think I can do the next half.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was.
Yeah.
I was like, we're still in this library.
Oh yeah, you're in the library for a while.
Yeah.
It gets to a point where you're just like, I'm in the River House, which is really a modern art museum, and then a library. And then we're training with Cassian, and I'm like,
Yeah. And if you don't recall, Alchemized was the book that was based on Harry Potter fan fiction set in the world of
Harry Potter.
No.
No.
Handmaid's Tale.
Oh, Handmaid's Tale. Sorry, yeah.
and we are not going to read it for this podcast.
Hell no.
For lots of reasons.
I
Mm-hmm.
haven't even read the actual fan fiction. Even though I keep saying I'm going to, I'm not. I think the people who like that are the same people who like Colleen Hoover books. Like, they're not actually good. Nothing about this is like good romance. I mean, I've only read 5 Colleen Hoover books, and that was plenty for me to know that all of them is just like trauma porn.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is the worst love interest ever. Like, this man burnt your house down.
I think I read one as part of a book club.
You did. Mm-hmm. You read Verity.
I did. Yes,
Mhm.
there it is.
Isn't that the one where...
The wife is in a coma, but not really.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my main problem with Alchemized, besides it being...
Okay, didn't you read like the first chapter?
I read the first page.
Oh.
And then just from the first page, I could tell that this was not something I wanted to deal with. It's 1,000 pages long.
Oh, it's really long.
And I read the first page, and it was so packed with repetitive words. Like, she would say the same thing over and over and over again. I'm just like, I'm going to stop you right here, Senlin Yu, and be like, I know no one edited this book. I know they told you take all the Harry Potter references out, and then we're going to publish it straight off of that. Because there's no way. There's no way anybody thought, they looked at that, they're like, yeah, we're going to edit you. Actually, that didn't happen.
See, that is the thing that I do find super interesting about Alchemized, is how it was allowed to be made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, it is Harry Potter fan fiction. That is what we know about it. But, you know, a lot of books that are being published were originally fan fiction. And they just, what's the word I used the other day to describe it? They de-somethinged it. De-skinned it.
They de-skinned it. Yeah.
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 They
And-
skinned it, not just skinned it.
Yeah, they de-skinned it. They took off Draco and Hermione's skin and put somebody else on them.
Oh, okay, I get it now.
But...
A new way of saying
And-
you file off the serial numbers and
Yeah.
you de-skinned.
And I will
Scrubbed
say,
it.
I am not against that, because I did read The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy,
Yeah.
and I rather enjoyed it. So I get that you can de-skin the characters and
Yeah.
make it into straightforward fiction. But the world that it is set in, The Handmaid's Tale, is such a distinct thing
Yeah.
that I don't know how that doesn't violate some sort of Margaret Atwood copyright.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, how did this book get made when it's based on 2 copyrighted things?
Maybe
Yeah.
That's what's crazy to me.
It's a good
Maybe-
question.
Margaret Atwood is just nicer.
Maybe Margaret
So-
Atwood at this point in her life is like, fuck it.
I don't know that Margaret Atwood cares, but I think that J.K. Rowling cares.
Oh, we know
Oh,
she
yeah.
does.
She
She's
cares
a bitch.
too much
She
about
cares.
everything.
She cares a
Yeah.
lot, and there is stuff out there about, you know, publishing being told to, hey, maybe stop.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh no, maybe we went too far. I'm like, yeah, bitch, maybe don't
Yeah.
have Draco on your book copy. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just like, I don't care
I guess
if
it
you
just
want to.
hide it better.
Yeah, you need
Yeah,
to
they
hide
did-
it better.
In all their marketing for Alchemized 2, it was like they didn't even pretend that
That's
it
the
wasn't.
problem. That
They
is
were like,
absolutely
hey,
the problem.
Well, yeah, that's the problem with The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy, is like, never having read Draco Hermione fan fiction, it was pretty easy for me while I was reading to not think about them. But if I looked at the cover,
Yeah, it's
it was
them.
fucking them. Some technical difficulties. There's a little bit of a skip forward here. Okay, so there's nothing in Goodreads anticipated romantasy books that grips me at all. Like, listen to this blurb for A Vow in Vengeance by Jacqueline Rodriguez. This debut romantasy from author Jacqueline Rodriguez has some intriguing ideas in the mix. Forced by the powers that be to compete in a deadly magical academy, young Rune Riker is persuaded to team up with a charming but arrogant prince. As usual, it's all in the specifics. The powers that be are immortal druid kings. The arrogant prince has neck tattoos, and the magic system is based on tarot cards.
This is just
That is so AI.
yeah, and this is just a jumble of tropes.
Yeah.
And really, really tired plot points. Like, if I see one more magical academy or a deadly competition, I am going to blow a gasket.
Well,
I cannot.
The thing that gave me whiplash was when they just say the prince has neck tattoos.
I
You know, just
know.
so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's just something that they all have now.
It might as well say, and he's not blonde.
Yeah.
As I was listening to you read this, there's nothing in here that actually signals that it's a romance book.
No.
Uh,
Because
so
why would we need that?
I'm just supposed to assume that the arrogant prince that has neck tattoos is going to fall in love with
Rune Riker.
Also, young Rune Riker, how young are you?
Probably 18.
Yeah, but
Maybe 19 if, because again, everything is for like the 20-year-old reader.
no, I know.
And nothing is for the 40-year-old reader, which granted, you're all going to die eventually. So everyone's going to age and die. So maybe we should start reading.
Can we just get
for those people
over 25?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Then you're not in school.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's think
So
about everybody
your frontal
else.
lobe's fully formed by that point.
Yeah, which is needed for a lot of these books.
It's so grating after a while.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so anybody else have any general book issues to discuss for the past year?
Book issues? No, not really.
No.
Except, thinking about the most anticipated books, I was looking at the list, and nothing is really jumping out at me either.
I haven't looked at all.
I was like, what? I guess that new Rachel Gillig book is coming out, but as we'll see, I thought that one was kind of mid. So
well, that was also on the list, but almost everything on the list was also a sequel to something else, which is something else I hate.
Oh yeah.
So.
There's like a trillion T. Kingfisher books coming out.
Yeah, I don't know what her damage is.
I don't know. really. It's like all of a sudden.
I like a lot of them.
I know.
I just can't.
I can't.
Up.
I don't think I've read
either.
anything by them.
Oh, they're kind of horror-ish.
Kind of.
Horror
She
fantasy.
also does romantasy though. Like she wrote a really, really good one called Sword Heart.
Oh yeah, wasn't that on our maybe? And
it was on our maybe pile and we didn't do it.
Yeah,
but I loved it. I thought it was great.
Should we? My sister said no one kisses in it or something.
No, they do. They kiss. And Sword Heart, they kiss. Please no. They have sex for Christ's sake.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Okay, then I swear one of the books that was on our list, she had.
Oh no, that was Powerless.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why we kicked it off.
Yeah, that's why we were like, ew, gross. And decided not to read it. I was like, what are they, Christian?
Maybe we should do or not Powerless. Sword Heart.
Yeah, I love Sword Heart. It was a really good one. Let us know
in the comments what we should listen to, read to, whatever.
So, anyway, I'm just waiting for some like great romantasy to come along and just be like, here I am. I'm the romantasy you've been waiting for. And kind of like Sword Heart, which I read not even last year, 2024. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. On to my favorite books of the year. I didn't really include any major dislikes because I felt like most of the stuff I read this year was pretty mid, and the stuff that was bad was like
you read for this podcast.
Well, yeah, and I've already complained about. Or they were like really small authors that I don't really feel like calling out and insulting.
And we spent 3 hours complaining about Blood of Hercules. So
yeah, I left that.
So these are really just my likes. All right, you ready?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. So the first like, and this was a book that I thought about doing for the podcast, but as I'll get into, not much actually happens in it. My favorite book of the year was Yield Under Great Persuasion by Alexandria Rowland. Now, if you recall, this is the same author that wrote A Taste of Golden Iron, which was one of my favorite books that we've done.
Yeah,
which, side note, Maura has informed me that every time we do a gay book, we lose followers on Apple Podcasts. And all I can say to that is can't stop, won't stop. Sorry, not sorry.
All the homophobes are just on Apple
yeah,
podcasts, I guess.
They follow us because they're like, oh, romantasy. And then like Tabitha brings out a gay book. Like, ew.
Which, it's one thing to not listen to that episode if that's not your vibe, but to unfollow us.
Yeah.
Go back to Hetero Island. So anyway, yeah, it's by the same author, and it is similar in the sense of it has a lot to do with day-to-day minutia and very little plot, which is apparently my vibe.
Your fave.
Yeah.
So it's one of those vaguely medieval European settings, like fantasy settings, you know, like Lord of the Rings-ish, but not nearly as intense as Lord of the Rings. The gods are real, but they're rarely seen and mostly benign. Our protagonist, Tam, is a tea shop owner, and he hates Lord Lyford, who is the lord of the town, but also has been sleeping with him since they were teenagers. We find out that Tam and Lyford are both favored by a particular goddess, but in different ways. It's the goddess of, like, harvest and abundance and fertility, and with Tam, it manifests more in, like, plants, like what grows in the earth and stuff like that.
Okay.
And with Lyford, it's more like hearth and home sort of thing. But Tam is a miserable little goblin of a man, and this story is him realizing that Lyford is in love with him, Tam going on several small quests, and all the while learning how to let go of his insecurity and get the fuck over himself. So most of the book just kind of is introspection as he does these various things and kind of discusses them with this other guy. I absolutely loved this book. Again, it's like cozy fantasy, I guess you'd call it. She does such a good job of constructing a world that you feel like you can sit down in. Highly recommend it. Just know that you're getting into a book with very little plot.
It has a scheduling conflict, doesn't it? You told me
Kind
there
of,
was a
yes,
scheduling
it does
conflict.
also have a scheduling conflict.
Of course it does.
A couple of the people that volunteer for the shrine for the god like conspire to get the two of them to man it at the same time because they know they like each other. Yeah.
So we spend a whole chapter talking about schedules again?
A little bit. The second book that I really liked was Voyage of the Damned by Frances White. I believe this was also a debut novel for this author. So the land of Concordia it splits power across 12 different provinces, with each ruler granted some sort of actual magical blessing from the gods, like real divine rule kind of shit. Our protagonist, Ganymedes, doesn't have a power. He does, but he doesn't know it yet, not to spoil it. And he's trying to like keep that on the down low. And he's from one of what is considered the least important provinces. The rulers of these 12 provinces are all on a ship on their way to the mountain that is the source of their power, to sort of reestablish their claims along with the newest ruler of the particular province. But then everyone starts getting murdered. And that's the plot of the book. I would say kind of the core issue here is, I don't know if it's class. It's just kind of what is considered an important province versus what is not. Like, he's from a place that is mostly oceanside, and it supplies a lot of fish, a lot of food to everywhere else in this world. And he ends up befriending some of the other what are considered like low, unimportant provinces. And they're the ones that provide things like timber and ore for mining and stuff like that. And he also befriends the youngest, which is like a 5-year-old girl, from a province that is mostly just a jungle, and so everyone thinks it's completely worthless. Whereas the people in the more, like quote unquote civilized provinces are the ones that think they're better than everybody else, even though they produce nothing. You know how it is, in this world. I've seen criticism of this book that the protagonist is too passive, that everything that happens kind of would have happened even if he did nothing. I think that I would argue that's the point of this story, is that he's a fundamentally better person than everybody else. And that's why what happens in the end happens. Like, he goes out of his way to befriend like the child that everybody is being mean to, the ruler from another province who is got a chronic illness. Like, those are the people that he allies himself with and goes out of his way to protect throughout this story, and that's why what happens in the end happens.
It's just about this guy being a good guy.
Kind of. He's also really funny.
Oh, okay.
Very self-deprecating and kind of outrageous, and everybody else just thinks so poorly of him in this story. I quite enjoyed it. Yeah, really good for a debut novel.
Nice.
Oh, and also I've seen it called Romantasy. I would say the romance is very important to the story. It is not, however, a huge part of the story. Like, it kind of gets shunted to the side a little bit, and then with the actual plot, you find out at the end why it is of such core importance. So it is, but it isn't.
Okay.
So my next recommendation is Lucky Day by Chuck Dingle. This is the one on the list. There's absolutely in no way a romance at all. I just put it on here because I liked it so much. This is the book that I read after reading Blood of Hercules. And I think I was just excited to read something that had an actual plot structure. Like, you can tell that he like made an outline.
Oh my God.
And like had themes and points of things that happened.
Oh my God, Tabitha, that's like the lowest bar. That really ruined you, didn't it? That book just like destroyed you.
Yeah.
Well, I've read 3 of
terrible.
Chuck Tingle's like non-erotica books, his horror books. The first one is Camp Damascus. The second is Bury Your Gaze. And then this one, Lucky Day. And I like them all. Again, they're about 8 hours long, which is a very good length for an audiobook.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just think they're fun, easy reads. Usually makes you think. So this one, one random day, there is what is called the low probability event, where hundreds of thousands of people are killed in very random ways.
Wow.
Things like, getting hit by cars, slipping on fish, falling from the sky. Somebody gets beat to death by a chimpanzee dressed as Shakespeare holding a typewriter.
Oh my God.
Vera, the main character, who is something like a statistician, she's an academic, becomes a shell of herself after this happens because she witnesses so much death, until someone from the government asks her for help. They think that they have traced the cause of this event to one casino with very improbable odds that is somehow warping space-time around them.
Oh.
And yeah, that's the story. Is she goes off with this guy and they try to figure out what is going on with the universe. Like I said, it's a very satisfying read. It's a story with a very clear beginning, middle, and end. I don't know. It's just good, guys.
It sounds interesting.
No, I like that. I like that there's no romance, right?
No.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
I mean, she has a girlfriend when it starts.
Okay.
But that's like the last fight she gets into with her mom. Is her mom finds out she's in a relationship with a woman, and they get into this big fight on the street, and then the low probability event starts, and her mom gets hit by a car in front of her. And so she just basically ghosts her girlfriend for several years because she can't.
Got it.
The theme of this book is depression and kind of suicidal ideation. And so at the end, after everything gets sorted out, she contacts her girlfriend again, and that's how it
Ends.
That's how it
Okay.
ends.
All right.
So next is Brighter Than Scale, Swifter Than Flame by Neon Yang. This was another one I thought about doing for the podcast, but it's a novella. And again, it's mostly just vibes.
Yeah.
Very low plot. So the gist of it is that a hero knight with a birthright for dragon slaying goes as an emissary to an isolated nation because they might have secret dragons there, and like there should not be dragons. And this is a sapphic romance. The knight is a big butch woman.
Okay.
who keeps her faceplate on like almost all the time. And the ruler of this other country is a woman as well. And yeah, that's basically it, is her living in this country, trying to figure out what's going on, bonding with the ruler. And I don't want to spoil it, so I won't say what happens, but it's a good read. Something you can like get done in an afternoon as you're doing chores or something like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like the name of it. I
Yeah.
feel like there's like a
It has a
rhythm
good-
to it or something.
It has a nice cover too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not just a quart of blank and blank.
Yes.
Actually, that's not like the thing now. Now it's like these somethings.
Mhm.
That's the new
These
construction.
velvet memories.
Yes.
I have not noticed that
Those vicious oaths.
yet. And now you've pointed it out to me. Thank you.
That's the new construction.
All right. My next recommendation is What Wakes the Bells by Emily Tesh. So there is a city named Viwin, something like that. It's been a while since I've read it. I can't remember how to pronounce it. Viwin?
I won't correct you.
It's fine. You do what you want.
So this city was built from the corpse of a god, and thus the whole thing is kind of oddly sentient. Like you can, to send letters, you can just like write a letter and write where it's going and then slap it against the wall, and the wall will kind of absorb it and then like spit it out wherever that person is. And it's been going pretty well. But there's also a curse, and there are routines that must be kept to keep the sort of evil of the curse sleeping. Part of this is that there are families that are responsible for making sure the bells in the bell towers never ring. But the evil does kind of try to sabotage them. And eventually, in this case, it does. It does manage the sabotage, and the bells ring, and it ends up causing the evil to erupt and corrupts the soul of the city. And it just kind of keeps getting worse and worse and worse. Mina, the main character, is one of the bell keepers, and she tries to combat this corruption while also finding the person who is the host for the demon. This is a YA book. I would say this is solidly YA. I think she's 17 in it. There's no sex. There is romance. And I thought it was just kind of unique. I felt like I hadn't read anything like it in a long time. And so I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, these are all really unique picks.
Yeah, and that's why I picked this one. It's not the best book ever written. I just thought she did a really good job with the concept. So my last pick, I figure everyone knows what this one is. I didn't even write anything for it. My last favorite book of the year was Heated Rivalry by Rachel Reed, which if you're not aware, how? But also,
You're on a rock.
It's two hockey players that are made to be rivals start having a secret relationship in their rookie year that carries on for 7 solid years before they finally address it.
Yeah.
I don't care for sports romances, not even the gay ones. I think this book might be the best of them.
Yeah.
She does an incredibly good job at writing a book where the two romantic leads have mutual pining, but there's no misunderstanding trope at all.
Yep.
These two characters are always nice to each other. Even when they're fucked up about the stuff going on in their own life and they're thinking we really need to end this relationship, they're never mean to be mean to each other.
No, they're like little shits sometimes, but who's not?
Yeah. And it's just that in the sequel to it, I just really, again, the best of sports romance, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's really good. I read a lot of sports romance. I love hockey romances. I've read too many this year. I go in and out of phases of them. This one's so good. It reminds me a lot of Taste of Golden Iron in like the mutual pining. They're not really mean to each other except for like one part. There is misunderstanding in that book though. That's not in Heated Rivalry, but still like the beautiful pining, like I don't know. In that book I was like kicking and giggling and squealing as I was reading it. And Heated Rivalry, despite the terrible audiobook narrator, I was
read the book, don't listen to the audiobook.
If you want to torture yourself, do the audiobook. I did it and I was like, it can't be that bad. And then I was like, I don't think this person has ever heard a Russian accent in his life, nor has he ever heard a Canadian accent. He was doing Shane's parents who are Canadian and they sound like they're from like Tennessee. I'm like, what is happening?
That's not good.
No.
I swear to God, he was like, Russian accent, right? Just put a bunch of marbles in my mouth.
Yeah. The way he says cock in it in a Russian accent is so funny.
The way he says Hollander, which is a word he has to say
Hollander.
a lot.
Yeah, it's so
God,
bad.
it's so bad.
It's really bad. But despite all of that, the book is beautiful. Sorry to jump on your
yeah, no, it's
your
great.
wreck. And you should watch the show. It's beautiful.
Yes, the show is also good.
I cried. Good Rex.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is my list.
That's your list.
Maura.
Yeah, I went with a different construction, which is 3 of the best books I read, couple of the mid books I read, and a couple of the worst books that I read, which honestly was not Blood of Hercules. So let's get into it. Some of the best ones that I really enjoyed this year were Hot for Slayer by Ali Hazelwood. Ali Hazelwood's like my comfort read.
Yeah.
I go to her whenever I'm in times of strife and I reread The Love Hypothesis. And I know like about maybe half of our listeners probably just rolled their eyes and turned off their podcast, but whatever. Turn it back on, damn it, because Ali Hazelwood's really great. So anyway, she released like 3 novellas this year.
She released like 800 books this year.
I know. It was rough. So there are 3 of the novellas. I'm not really going to get into what this one is about deeply because I think we might cover it for the pod. But essentially, this is about a vampire lady and the hunky slayer man who is tasked with eliminating her lineage. And then he gets bonked on the head and comes down with amnesia, and she decides to take him to her apartment, and they fall in love. So I think Ali Hazelwood's best format is the novella. Like it pushes her to focus on plot, and she doesn't get too sidetracked by extraneous bullshit like she tends to do. And everything is perfect. So good for you, Ali. More of these, please. I was thoroughly diverted by it. It was super cute.
I haven't read this one yet.
Yeah, it was probably my favorite of the 3 that she released this year. Because the other one was her weirder Mangoverse version of Star Wars. And then the third one was like a dark academia version of Twilight.
Oh, yeah.
Which was something.
I think the only thing of hers I read this year was Deep End.
Which you didn't read Problematic Summer?
No, I didn't.
No. I think you tried, didn't you?
Yeah, I started, and then you guys were like, it's bad.
I mean, I mostly liked it.
That said, I think I did like Deep End more than you.
I loved it.
Deep End.
Oh, you finished
You
it?
finished
I
Deep
didn't
End?
finish it.
Yeah, I got the audiobook finally and got my shit together.
Yeah, I liked Deep End. I just didn't like that they were like 22.
Yeah.
That was
As
the
we
only
said at
thing
the
I was just like,
beginning,
ugh.
Can we just get people out of college age, please? God,
Yeah.
please.
I'm like, can't they be like coaches? That would have been so much more fun.
Yeah.
But okay, second one was I Hope This Finds You Well by Natalie Sue. I read this when I was abroad this year, and I was staying up into the night during my jet lag sessions reading it, and it made me laugh and then it made me cry like 2 seconds later. So it like hit me perfectly as an authentic portrayal of someone who feels like they just don't quite fit in with what's expected of them as an adult in a traditional workplace or with society, really, in a lot of ways. Like she's struggling in this book. There's also a really normal romance side plot, like normal. There's nothing weird about it. It's just very normal, which I felt was heartwarming and also made me cry. There's a moment where they're in a car and I was like, oh my God, I just burst into tears. So like, I don't know, being abroad for 2 weeks and basically being housebound during that time can obviously be super stressful. So maybe I was just emotional when I was reading this book, but I loved it. I thought it was really cool. It was really well done. And I recommend it for everybody out there wondering if like the workplace is a crazy hellhole, because it is, and Natalie Sue really portrayed that. So yay. Third one was Night Bitch by Rachel Yoder. I read Night Bitch because I wanted to see the movie, and I figured I should read the book first. And now I don't want to see the movie because I know it's not going to compare to my feelings while I was reading the book. The book was fucking amazing. And probably, again, it hit me extra hard because I'm a mom of 2 kids, but really it gets into like the meaty gristle of how becoming a mother is like tapping into this inner animal that you don't realize you have until you have the kids. And you're like, oh yeah, well, that was fun. That's interesting. Everything is very interesting right now. And she like really tapped into that, and about like ancient ideas about how motherhood is the closest way humans become gods, which I thought was also really cool. Like she turns it into like a whole big artist thing, and I was just like, that's just so neat. And it was really well done. So don't see the movie. Who cares about the movie? The book is really good.
All of the ads for the movie weirded me out.
Yeah.
So I was like, there's no way I'm engaging with this.
It's got a bit of like a magical realism thing in that she's envisioning herself becoming a dog, and she kind of like can't stop those feelings, and so she's like, am I turning into a dog?
Every time I saw that I mean, your description of the book sounds way better than any ad for the movie, but every time I saw it, I thought of this play that we had to read in this like French poetry class that I took in college, and we read the play Rhinoceros, which is an absurdist play where randomly people just become rhinoceroses.
Okay, yeah, similar.
And
similar.
I was like,
yeah,
is that what this is?
Yeah, it's similar because she's also looking around at other new moms and they're like, are they also turning into dogs?
Yeah.
She's like, am I crazy?
Yeah.
What's happening? Yeah.
I mean, there's a point to why, like, it's symbolic, not just the turning into rhinoceroses for fun, which I figured this was too, but I'm like, that's too weird for me. Anyways, good Rick.
Yeah, so those were my 3 like really good reads that I don't know spoke to me. And now into the mid section. The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gellig. I wound up really liking One Dark Window, and I loved the sequel to Two Twisted Crowns. I thought that was a really amazing sequel, to be honest. It was better than the first book. It was well done duology, and it had interesting world building, and I was impressed with how it all came together. So The Night and the Moth was hyped, and I was like, okay, let's do it. It's kind of her first true romantasy, and then I think the whole book would fall apart if there isn't a romance at the core, which is fine. But this really lacked creativity of the first duology, and like every move in the book was predictable to like a point of they went to point A and then to point B and then to point C. Then they had acrobatic sex before point D, and then they were betrayed after that by around point E, like by the person you expected, because of course that was going to happen. Did anyone think about why we were doing anything in this book? And I was also told by someone that one of the big fight scenes was pulled straight out of a video game, which is like, Rachel.
Which video game?
Hades.
Oh, I didn't play it, but
Tabitha read it. Tabitha's played it.
Yeah, and I said it's the part where you are on the ferry and you got to fight until the ferry docks.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're on a ferry and they have to like fight this dude with an oar, and the whole thing is just very like, oh my god, all right, sure, why not? But you know, it was pretty. I like the medieval inspiration, but I don't know if I'm gonna read the second book. The first one was just very like, okay, sure, why not? Second one is Hemlock and Silver by T. Kingfisher. Again, I think T. Kingfisher is publishing too many books. Just publishing too much, because like she started out as such a win for me. Like the more I read her, the more I find myself underwhelmed by her rehashing plot lines. Like she rehashes so much and so often and all the fucking time. This book was an inventive take on Snow White, and she populates it with the same characters that she always writes about. And it's just like, I just want to kind of shake her and say, hey, do something new for the love of God. But also, and here again, the main character is 36, which is great. I've been like, hey, more people in their 30s, that'd be great. But she's always like going on and on about her aching knees, and she's like, I'm so close to death, and I'm like, shut up, just shut up. Like, you're 30-fucking-6, get over it.
Do some stretches.
I know, right? Just like stretch before bed or something, for Christ's sake. As to the plot, like I love the mirrors and the whole concept of a mirror world, which is what this is getting into, but I still can't figure out what I think was a huge plot hole, and that really still bothers me. So mid. And then now on to the worst books. Guild by Raven Kennedy. I don't know why I read this. To prove that there are worse books than Blood of Hercules, I think. Probably. But it was so bad. It had no coherent plot line. It had a beginning, a middle, but no direction or made any sense, and it didn't end. It just stopped. So it starts off as slavery porn, I guess. Like the main character is the primary sex slave of this guy named King Midas.
What?
Who's not the King Midas of myth. He's just some dude.
Some dude named Midas.
Okay. Is it a common name?
But Midas, in this instance, is a king, but he didn't start out that way. I can't even remember anymore. It was so dumb. But like, of course, everything he touches is literally gold, because she is literally gold and has like prehensile skin ribbons that I will never be able to unsee.
What?
Like they all come out of her spine.
Ew, gross.
And I still don't understand why. I don't know. I don't remember if it was ever explained as to why she has prehensile skin ribbons. I didn't like them. And so anyway, she's in love with Midas, but it's a classic emotionally abusive relationship, obviously, because he keeps her chained up in his, like a cage in his room and makes her watch him have sex with people. Then they all go on a journey for some reason. I don't know why. And then they got attacked by some snow pirates, as one does. Then one of their little sex slaves that they were, journeying with, which I should also mention, they're called saddles. Because of course, gets brutally raped on page. And then it just sort of ends after that when the main love interest appears and does, I don't even remember what, who knows, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to read anymore. Forgetting a lot of this book was an active choice on my brain's part. It was like, no, you're not going to remember any of that because it was so bad. I'll never read any more from this author, not for the podcast, not for anybody. You won't be able to pay me.
This does remind me of something. If anybody listening has wondered, I wonder why Tabitha has never done for this podcast the book Captive Prince.
Yeah.
I did read it, and there's way too much sexual assault for me. And I mean, I know what you find out in the other books about like child abuse, and it's just I have rules about the things that we do for this podcast, and that violates them. So
yeah.
I met a bunch of my sister's friends recently. They all have this book club, and I was like, oh, I kind of have a book club. It's this podcast. And one of her friends was like, oh my gosh, I'll listen to it. And she recommended that we read Guild.
Well, let me tell you, we will not be doing that.
She was really a sweet person, and I did warn her that we're haters.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, we can't read this anyway because it violates one of Tabitha's main things.
It violates like multiple of our rules.
Yeah. It violates almost all of the rules that we have. And on top of that, it violates my main rule in that it freaking doesn't have an ending.
Yeah.
Nothing makes sense. They all just are doing things. There's no plot line whatsoever. It's just like, now we're going to go on a journey. Like, but why?
That sounds
I don't know.
Onyx Storm.
We just have to go to this place. I'm like, okay, but why?
Vibes.
So, and then we're going to bookend it with another Ali Hazelwood, which I hated problematic summer romance. I DNF'd it, and I DNF'd it real hard.
Yeah.
I have never DNF'd an Ali Hazelwood book before. This one, because, like I said, she's usually like a ray of silly sunshine, and I like to know it exists, and I can step into it to feel warm sometimes when I need to. But this book was icky. I hated the main character. I hated the main male character. Main male character was super condescending and boring and had one thing to say, which was, I am too old. And the main female character was cringeworthy, and that her total personality was, I must get this man to have sex with me at all costs.
Yeah.
And also, they only had one thing to say to each other, which is, age is but a number. And it isn't, actually, but whatever. And I was just like willing to overlook some of that for like promised wedding hijinks, but those didn't ever happen. Like, I think there was some food poisoning, which is boring.
Yeah.
That was really it that happened, right? Then they got high at some point.
Yeah.
And then they were like, we should really find that dog that escaped to the island. I'm like,
Yeah.
is anything interesting going to happen?
No.
No, nothing actually interesting happened.
Mm-hmm.
So generally speaking, it was a huge mess for me. And in the acknowledgements, Ali basically
You
says,
didn't finish it, but you read the acknowledgements.
I did. I read the acknowledgements. I have to go. I flipped to the end. I was like, tell me what happened here, Ali. And Ali basically says that a friend bullied her into making that book a full-fledged book and not a novella, which it was supposed to be. And I'm like, girl, never listen to that friend again. She is your secret enemy, because that was shit. This whole thing was shit. So bad. I did not like it. I gave it 1 star.
Yeah, I think I did enjoy this book for the most part. Usually Ali Hazelwood books are like a automatic 4.5, 5 stars for me. Like, I just love her.
They're just cute.
But this one, well, actually both books in these series, I can't even start. I've tried to start
Not in Love.
Not in Love. You actually gave it to me. I've tried to start it 5 different ways. I've tried to start it as an ebook. I've tried to start it as an audiobook like 3 times. I still have it on hold at the library because I'm like, maybe one day.
You're not missing anything.
No, yes. I don't find either of the characters very compelling.
I didn't like Not in Love much either.
Yeah. And then in this book, it should have just been a novella.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you did have some things there. When I was reading it, I think I commented to both of you that it felt like when people write drables, or, well, no, you say it differently.
Drabble.
Whatever.
Drabble.
I don't know how to speak English.
It's not a real word.
It's not. It's a fan word.
I'm sure it's in a dictionary somewhere. Anyways, when people write drables, whatever you want to call them, and they're like just disconnected little plot points, and then later on they're like, oh, I'll make a story out of it. That's how this book kind of felt.
Yes.
Like, there are pieces of it that I was like, oh yeah, I love that part, and then there's other chapters I'm like, why is this in here?
I know. It just went on and on and on.
Yeah.
And I cannot express enough that he was an ass, and she was a child.
Yeah.
And it was like, this is so. It made me feel gross, honestly. And then they were like, we're gonna have sex now. I'm like, okay, but you're basically having sex with someone who's emotionally 12. And you're almost 40.
Yeah.
And this is gross.
The thing that really pissed me off about it was, I feel like a lot, from what I remember from a lot of the book, they were like, well, you didn't really know me when I was that young. Like, I was just like around. Like, I was like my brother's sister. But you only really knew my brother. And until like 3/4 of the book, there's like a flashback where he like did know her more personally when she was like 14.
Yeah,
like,
which is also gross. It's like, ew.
He didn't have any feelings for her then, like romantically. It was more like uncle related. But I was like, I don't want that at all.
Yeah, no, I don't want that either.
I guess one of the things we could talk about for this year in news is that they are making finally a Love Hypothesis movie.
They are.
They did not cast Adam Driver, but I can
miss.
I can see what the guy they cast is doing, and he's trying.
I can see that too.
Yeah, he just feels a little too conventionally attractive for me.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
He needs to be a little bit more.
Same with the woman who's playing. Oh my God, what's her name?
Lily
Reinhardt.
Reinhardt.
Yeah. Something about her, I'm like, you're just too pretty.
Mm.
Not that either of Adam Driver or Daisy Ridley are ugly people.
It's also
I just can't not picture them.
In Adam Driver news, I did watch Megalopolis this year.
She managed to make it happen.
I was stoned, as you should be.
Yeah.
And I recommend watching it stoned.
There's a while there, I think you could only watch it on a plane.
Yeah.
Was it American Airlines?
Francis Ford Coppola that
yes,
it?
I think
Yeah.
you're correct.
Yeah, he had this whole thing where he was like, oh, movies are meant to be watched in the theater, not through streaming.
I hate that.
And so he was only releasing it to like select theaters in the kind of New York City area, and you know,
Yeah.
to make back the money that they lost on it.
Mhm.
And then it was like, oh, also on this particular airline, you can watch it.
My favorite thing about movies these days is like, it started last year when you go to the movies, they would start a trailer, but it would be like a 50th of the screen. It would be like a teeny tiny little screen, and then it would zoom out later, and they're like, don't watch movies on your phone, watch it in these big screens. I'm like, the ratio to like how big my TV is
Yeah.
to like me in my room is this is like not necessarily the same, but like it's not, I'm not watching on my fucking phone.
No.
Do you know the last time I was in the movie theater? It was literally almost a year ago. It was like the day after Christmas, and I went to see Nosferatu.
Yeah.
And I got a fucking 2-day migraine from that movie.
Oh yeah.
I get migraines sometimes when I go to the movie theater, and I think this one was particularly bad because of how starkly black and white everything was. And
was.
yeah, I was completely out of commission laying in a dark room for 2 days from that.
I got a migraine when I was watching the first Wicked, but that was because my mom had like the most pungent smelling. It was a good
also,
smell,
didn't she
but
drag you to like a 10 p.m. showing.
they were trying to. No, we went to go see Wicked Part 2. That's not what it's called, but whatever. Anyways, I don't like the second half of the Wicked musical anyways, so I wasn't expecting to like the movie. I just did my best and worst. I tried to steer clear from books that we did for the podcast, so I will not be talking more shit about Blood of Hercules or talking about other books that I liked. Kingfisher, that's not the name of that fucking book. Oh my god.
Quicksilver.
Quicksilver.
It should be.
Yeah. Was, when I was going through my ratings, was actually the only book I rated 5 out of 5, which I thought was crazy. Me off.
Every time I try to remember his name, I'm like, Quicksilver?
Yeah, I know. I will say I've been trying really hard to get through the second book.
Brimstone?
Yes.
Okay.
It's not working.
No.
Like I told you, I got the audiobook through Libby, and I listened to the prologue for that book, which is 40 goddamn minutes.
It's
and it
really
literally
long.
is just like that fox trying to get to the castle, and Quicksilver, there was his name, Kingfisher, going out on a horse to get it. That's it. That's 40 minutes.
Also, 40 minutes?
Also,
Jesus.
I remember in this part, because he kept talking about Bob, and I'm like, who the fuck is Bob? It's his fucking horse. And I'm like, your name is Kingfisher, and Bob the fucking, I mean, I know his name is not actually Kingfisher. Remember, you like can't know people's names. Anyways.
It's so weird. That book was kind of like trying to be a comedy in a certain way. I can see where it's going with that.
Yeah.
But also with Quicksilver, I completely lost the plot in the last like 2 chapters. I was like, what the fuck is happening? I don't understand. So I can see how like Brimstone might be a hard like leap forward in the plot line, because you're like, I don't know what the fuck is going on anymore.
Yes.
I completely lost it.
And I think, not to talk about it too much because that's not what we're here for. I think, and I talked to my cousin about this. I think 2 things should have happened. Number 1, the first book should have been split into 2, and parts of the second book should be in that kind of middle piece. But I think what really happens is in Brimstone, the sequel, it suffers from the same thing that I think like the 3rd-ish book of the ACOTAR series suffers from, which is like, now we're together and
boring now.
Yeah.
There's no
so
conflict.
either the conflict has to be like miscommunication, or like you guys are breaking up. I mean, I'm only like 50% in, but the conflict is like the world around them.
She's trying to like shock and awe us with the world that she's built,
which is interesting, but I'm like, there's so much that happened that last piece,
but
and
I need
now
interpersonal.
you're breaking it up. So anyways, maybe one day I'll finish. So I just did my best and worst. They're kind of like a hodgepodge of different books. So my top best books were Mate by Ali Hazelwood. I don't remember if we're planning on doing this for the pod, so I
I think
gonna lead it.
Yeah. Do you still need the book, by the way?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I'll bring it to you.
I won't get into it too much in that case, but it's the sequel to Bride. It's about Serena, who just found out she was a werewolf in the last book. She's still in danger, so she has to live with Cohen and his pack for safety while secretly suffering from this mysterious illness. And watching the public read this was so funny, because you could very easily tell who has read a book about Omegaverse werewolves before and who has not. I mean, we've talked about Ali Hazelwood a lot on this podcast for a reason. I think she did a good job again. And somehow she even tied in this like weird but interesting kind of like cult plot line. It surprised me when it happened, but towards the end I was like, yeah, I'm here for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My next book is not fantasy at all.
You're like, what's happening
It's not
here?
even really fiction. I told you it was just a hot
It's
pot.
like, you threw a nonfiction in here?
I
What
know.
are you doing?
I know. Who am I? It's like one of 3 nonfictions I've read this year. I'm just trying to show you guys.
I should have included the book I read about the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
Fuck, you should have. Careless People. I don't know why I just stopped putting in the authors. Whoops, sorry. Careless People. It's written by someone. This was sort of like a tell-all about Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, and Meta. It's by this woman who, again, I don't name.
Mysterious woman.
Mysterious woman. She's from New Zealand. I think, yes. So it's by this woman who joined Facebook pretty early when it was just starting to expand outside of North America. And she just talks about how careless everyone was. It's really like the best word for this. Like at every turn, these people are just like careless and flippant about the decisions that they make and the repercussions of making or even not making certain decisions and actions. And as someone who still feels pretty new to corporate life, like I have talked about being in education before, it was crazy to me how some of the themes and stories that she told felt really similar to the world I'm now living. I could go on like a rant forever about this book, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to say you should read it, and also fuck Facebook.
Yeah.
One of the things that has perpetually surprised me as an adult in everywhere I've ever worked is how little people seem to care about the Americans with Disabilities Act.
Oh my God, don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a choice to meet these standards.
Yeah.
You have to do this.
Yeah.
And it's just shocking how many adults don't realize that.
They whine so much. It's like, no, I'm sorry. You have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
It's law.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. There's so many. I could go on forever about it. It was really, I'll just say this one thing. It's really funny 'cause when I talked to my coworkers at this job, we had like our holiday party. We got drinks afterwards, and they were like talking about all the terrible things of where we work. They're all kind of fine. And they were like, yeah, this is the worst, blah, 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 blah. They're like naming all these things. I'm like, yeah, no, this is still a pretty good job for me. Like the last place where I worked was kind of the same, but still in education.
Yeah.
The place before, I was a teacher. This is great.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
I once worked at a job where I was written up and told that they like the work I do. Please continue to work as hard.
Yeah.
You're good at what you do. Just know that we don't like you on a personal level. I'm not even joking.
Yeah. And listen, I've said this before. The things that I didn't like about education are not really about the students. It's kind of everything else about it. So
yeah.
for me to say my minimal interactions with admin and teachers and parents is worse than working this corporate job I'm in right now tells you all you need to know. Okay, my last best book.
Also by a mystery person.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Who
No,
is
no.
this person?
I know the author's name because I've read this book so many times.
Oh my God. More than once?
Yes.
I do that all the time.
Lights Out by Nevessa Allen, I believe. I've definitely talked about this book before. I've definitely talked about the audiobook before. It's so good. I read it twice, literally within 2 months of each other. I'm obsessed. Allie, the plot is Allie is a nurse who loves watching hot men on Instagram during her breaks. Who doesn't? She especially loves this he's not really an influencer, whatever. He's a hot man who wears
He's a hot man on the internet.
Yes, exactly. He wears a mask. And unbeknownst to her, it's this guy, Josh, who she like kind of knows. He's obsessed with her. I can't remember how it really starts, but he stalks her and is like creeping on her, but she's into it. It's dual POV, and the audiobook, said it at the top, is probably my favorite audiobook ever. Both narrators are great. They do such a good job. The guy who plays Josh is like so funny. He just has like really good intonations, really good acting with this, and the girl who plays Allie is very good too. I find that a lot of the female audiobook narrators just sometimes come across as like, I think it's just, they just sound like anime characters sometimes to me.
Girly, as opposed to fully grown women.
Yeah.
And I
childish.
yes. And I don't know if that's because most books, they're like 18, or if it's just everyone is like, can you just put your voice a little higher?
I I think the way with romance publishing right now is like it's very focused on female stories where the female protagonist often feels a little bit loopy
Yeah.
or like a little immature.
Yeah.
And through the course of the story they like learn their womanly ways or whatever, and then they grow up, but
Yeah.
they still have that, like, I'm reading one now where it's like she actually puts exclamation points in the narrative. She's like putting, like, there was actually a sentence with an exclamation point, and then there were more, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, what's happening right now?
What?
Like, it felt immaturely written.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I think it's that immaturity.
Yeah.
There's a discussion going on right now on TikTok where men seem to think that women with deep voices are faking it. They're putting it on and deliberately making their voices deeper.
Yes, because that's something that's super easy to do.
Right?
Yeah.
All the time.
No, I feel like I talk higher on accident.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think women are often trained to talk higher than they are to talk lower.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a whole thing living in a patriarchal society. Where
Oh,
you,
yeah.
You know, smooth out anything rough when you interact with men so that you don't, like, set them off.
Yeah. My customer service voice, which
Yeah.
is not even me in a customer service role, but like me talking to like waiters and servers, I always end up talking like a child. When I was in college, I was going through this drive-through with my boyfriend at the time, and I was like yelling across from him. He's like, "What do you want to drink?" Because I was in the passenger seat, and I was like, "Oh, can I have a root beer, please?" And I said it. My voice was so high, and he never let me forget it. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just trying to be polite. So I sounded like a child. I have no idea. Anyways, the girl does not sound like this. Her voice is normal. The book is beautiful. I mean, it's fucked up. You definitely read the trigger warnings. But it's seriously almost perfect. There is like a section at the end where I'm like, we could have just gotten rid of that or like tightened it up at some point. But it was necessary in terms of wrapping up Josh's plot line, but just felt a little too long.
Is that when he makes her have sex with the knife?
No, that's way before that. No.
She's like, no, that was perfectly fine, and I enjoyed it
No,
immensely.
love that part. I do. That's basically how I warn people about this book. I'm like, there's some stalking, okay, but she's into it. He does make her ride a knife that he stabbed into her mattress.
The handle.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. The knife handle.
Yeah,
yes.
it's not.
If anybody's worried.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the last part is they like kill this guy on accident, and they have to get rid of his body. And I don't want to spoil everything, but anyways, worst books. I don't have any gripes about calling out short or small authors, I guess, because all of these are like really small Kindle Unlimited books. But a worst book, Get in My Swamp. This I read this one out of morbid curiosity because I love Shrek and I love smut. I did not love this at all. They don't use any of the character names from Shrek, but to make life easier, I will. Basically, Fiona is engaged to Lord Farquaad, and she's on her bachelorette trip with Lord Farquaad's twin sister. And Fiona doesn't like her because obviously Lord Farquaad's twin sister's a bitch because he's a bitch. So she like goes on a walk at one point and ends up getting trapped in like Shrek's swamp with the magical creatures, and they want to kill her. And Shrek's like, no, I'll save her. And then she basically becomes like his slave or something. I don't know. It's like
What is with the slave romances
I do
lately?
not know.
What's going on?
I'm blaming it on America's education system or something. And then, of course, they end up fucking and falling in love, but Fiona has to return to her normal life. So Shrek frees her. But don't worry, they somehow end up happily ever after. You'll have to read the book to find out how. I will say one thing. He at the end of the book, spoiler, he goes and finds her. She lives in New York. The swamp is like in the middle of nowhere, America. So in order to find her, he goes.
There was no reason for them to set this in the real world.
No, not at all. Not at all. Oh, and also the fact that all the magical characters exist is like a secret. So no one knows that there are any magical characters. No one knows that Shrek is real or has like an 8-pack and is 7 feet tall, of course. So when he goes to find her, he has to go on a plane to get to New York. Mm-hmm. So he, as a 7-foot tall ogre, goes on this plane and somehow makes through security with like his hood on and like a mask on. And again, he doesn't have an ID. I'm like, did 9/11 happen here? Because TSA is sparse. So you should read it. if you want. This other one, Mile High Heat by Sarah Blue. Shiloh is an Omega who finally leaves her pack of emotionally abusive rock star alphas. She's flying home when she suddenly goes into heat mid-flight, but luckily an alpha steps up to help her, and he is the pilot. So he is landing a plane while she is sitting on his dick. I wish I was joking. He's literally like talking to air traffic control tower, and the co-pilot next to him just basically has like a piece of paper, like so he doesn't watch. It's so stupid. Then
the look on Tabitha's face is really
I can't beautiful. See it. She's like not even.
It's basically that face I always use in the group chat.
Like, yeah. Can we put pictures in the comments? Anyways, so they land the plane safely. A real Sullivan moment. Sorry. And he takes her to his pack where his brother and the other alpha, who is of course a millionaire, fall in love with her and take care of her. Not every book has to be stellar, but I found myself so annoyed by Shiloh as I read. She has self-esteem problems that could only be resolved by fucking everyone, I guess. Also, there's like a casual sword crossing scene between the brothers, and it was jarring.
No.
Like, yes, I believe incest is one of the other things we generally
that's definitely in the list of things.
This was not in a content warning. I did not. There's no trigger warnings that I read for this book that included incest, which leads me into the next. Oh my god! Wait, I didn't even mention this. I'm so sorry. In Get in My Swamp, I'm just gonna spoil the whole thing now. So stop listening if you want to read it. In the Shrek smut, when Fiona goes back to her normal life, she is like, oh, I'm going to surprise my fiance, Lord Farquaad. She goes to his apartment and is like, hey, babe, I brought you lunch. He's fucking his sister, stepsister or something. Or twin sister. I can't remember how they're related. It's not exactly like blood relation. So maybe they're not twins. I don't know. Still too close to incest for me.
Yeah.
Which leads me into our next book. 9-Month Contract by Amy Dawes. I don't know what happened to me, but I read like 6 books this year with an age gap / pregnancy trope. I don't know.
That's a lot of books for that.
I know. Most of them were hockey related.
Dude, one of the reasons I mostly read gay romance is because I don't want pregnancy anywhere near what I'm talking about. I don't even want Rachel Reed to come out with a 3rd book about Shane and Ilya because I know they're gonna have kids.
Oh yeah. Again, most of them were about hockey, and I was fine with most of them. But the female main character in this book really pissed me off. She was so fucking annoying. So in this book, it starts with Wyatt. He's old and lonely, despite being only like in his mid-30s.
Again, you're almost near death in your 30s, right?
I'm turning 33 soon. I'm gonna die tomorrow.
You're gonna die tomorrow. It's gonna happen.
And he lives on a mountain in Colorado with his brothers. So he decided that he wants a baby. He's just into kids. And he fails at finding a surrogate until his niece intervenes and he meets this girl, Trista. She's a weird animal-loving poor who needs money to start a foster farm for animals. And even though she's not into kids, she needs the money, so she signs up to be Wyatt's surrogate. She's on,
There's not a whole lot of money in being a surrogate.
No, it's like private. He's paying her like a fuck ton of money because he wants a kid.
Okay, sure.
Whatever. Sure. It's for the plot, Maura.
I know. I believe you.
And like, anyways, this woman is. Her name's Trista. She's unbelievably annoying. She kept calling Wyatt her mountain man. She said it all the time. And also, like, to help her disassociate from being a surrogate, she would always say the phrase, I'm a cow, I'm a cow, I'm a cow. And the narrator said it like that every fucking time. Also, she called everyone a goat turd. That was like the only way she could insult people. Yeah. The repetition of phrases was annoying. Literally every chapter, I'm a cow, I'm a cow, I'm a cow.
Okay.
Oh, my mountain man.
No. Yeah. See, this is again one of those like infantilization of the female main character. A goat turd. Just say fuck.
They swore.
Just say shit.
They swore in other parts, okay? But like not. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I actually literally yesterday finished the 3rd book in this series. I forgot that I requested it, and as I was listening to it, I was like, oh, this is the same world. I don't read
I-
blurbs.
When I
And
saw
that book
you-
was great. That book was totally fine.
Okay, good, because I saw her name on there. I was like, oh, I think I have her on my my Libby account right now.
What book?
I can't remember.
We'll talk after this.
Oh,
Anyways,
honeymoon something. Honeymoon.
That's the second book.
Okay,
I think,
okay.
Because I actually just requested that because I was like, the third book's great.
Okay.
Wait, I think the third book is Honeymoon Phase.
Yes, honeymoon phase. That's,
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's it.
Uh-huh.
But it still has this back plot point because it's all about all the brothers. So, anyways, back to the story. And then there's Wyatt. He was fine. He was fine until I started figuring out what his weird traumatic backstory was, which was with his brothers. And then I was realizing, like, maybe this is actually a horror book because, spoiler warning, what do you mean? I read 3 books this year where brothers fuck the same girl.
Excuse me?
No, sorry, 2. Well, yeah, technically 3 because I read the other one. So,
At the same time?
no, not at the
Yeah,
same time.
explain. Please
Yeah.
explain.
Yeah. In this book, it's not treated, I think, appropriately. In the third book, the female main character is like, "I'm sorry, what?" Which is the correct reaction. So, the backstory is when they first started living on this mountain, this girl like needed a place to stay, so she lived in like their barn apartment and was like super hot and great and whatever. All the brothers thought they were hot and they were like, have this weird bet, like none of us can be with her, but maybe one of us will like get her to like us. Then unbeknownst to them, they're all kind of like flirting with her and like semi dating her at the same time and fucking her. Not at the same time, but like, I don't know. It's so weird. The way that it's not explained in the first book very well really pisses me off. And Trista, like, really just gets over it. Like, she does not have a proper reaction. She's like, yeah, she sounds like she was really manipulative, which she was. This character was. Like, oh my God, I don't know how to get into it without talking about the whole thing. Like,
And this was a bad book that she's saying don't read.
Yeah.
the third book was fine. Like, I don't know what I literally wrote my review of the third book yesterday, and I was like, how is this in the same world and by the same author? Because this one was totally fine.
Sometimes authors throw in a clunker, and you're just like,
the first
why?
book was the clunker, though. Anyways, so those are our recs. If you have any,
Yes, thank you for joining us this year.
Yeah,
mhm.
we had a lot of interesting moments this year, and I think we've grown as people and readers and podcast hosts.
I did. I read fewer books this year than I have in previous years, but still far more than the average American.
Yeah,
I think I
same.
topped out at just below 80 books this year.
Damn.
And it's just, I did other things. I don't know. Everyone's been in a bad place mentally this year.
Yeah.
I'm not going to blame our country's current administration,
No, I am.
but I
Yeah.
generally
I
think
am.
that's it.
Did you hear about-
2025 has been hard.
Did you hear about the Hunger Games that we're gonna have?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like every day is a new hell. So
It's just like,
I've
what
done a
the
lot.
fuck?
I've done a lot of disassociating and
Yeah.
watching Star Trek and playing video games. I actually have this other project I am doing just personally where I wrote
You
down
have another podcast?
No,
I'm just kidding.
no. I wrote out a list of 100 different albums that I have never listened to before.
Aw.
And I'm going through them and putting them into a spreadsheet and about like what I like or dislike about them.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I've done other things.
I read 82 books, and I
Damn.
might be able to get a couple more in before the end of the year. We'll see what happens.
I think Oh, go ahead.
No, go for it.
I was gonna say I think I've read like 63.
Yeah, that's
Which
a
is
lot.
Far more than the average American.
Yeah,
I think I read like 40 last year, but I've been doing a lot of audiobooks while I craft, and it's been great. It's rough out there, guys.
It's
Yeah, it
hard. This year has felt like forever, and then it sped up right at the end, like the holidays always do. And now I'm just like, what is time?
I
Yeah.
feel like I've had very bad luck this year. I've caught 3 different colds. I fell twice in the snow.
Oh.
I spilled bleach on my hardwood floor.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot going on.
I fell down the stairs this year.
Oh, I got food poisoning.
Ooh, I fell off a horse.
Yeah, that's
That was fun.
Well, let's not end on this sad note.
It can only go up from here.
Yeah.
Don't jinx us like that.
2026 is gonna be awesome.
What's like a goal or something we want to manifest? I don't do
Look for new art for us.
Oh, yeah.
Emma is in the
Yeah.
process of creating new podcast graphics.
It's gonna be great. We're
Yeah.
gonna have
It's very
stickers
cute.
soon.
Yeah, what about a sticker, guys?
We're gonna have a sticker that's gonna be the most amazing sticker ever
Mhm.
because
Well-
Emma is going to make it
Oh
for
my
us.
god, I'm blushing. If there's any lines that we say though, or things from this podcast that you think would make a good sticker idea, send them my way because I can't remember anything ever. So open to suggestions.
Yeah, we are open to all suggestions for the stickers that we will make in the future.
Yeah, and book suggestions for next year.
We also need to actually finalize our 2026 reading list.
Yeah, so
we have
send
not done
them,
that
put 'em in
at
the
all.
comments.
Yeah.
We have thoughts and feelings and opinions about some books,
When
but that's
don't
really
we?
it.
Mhm.
Yeah, we are full of those things. But yeah, otherwise we are doing this on the solstice. So
Yeah,
happy
that's true.
solstice, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Happy Yule.
Like I said,
Minus-
darkest day of the year can only go up from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy Saturnalia. That's it.
Right. If you have a hot take or book you would like us to recap, you can message us on our socials. You can find the links on our show notes. If you like us, please rate us and leave reviews. That makes us so happy. Until next time, bye.
Bye.
Bye.